Did you hear about the white men from Texas who made a plan to take over Haiti, kill all the men, and keep the women and children as slaves? 21-year-old Gavin Weisenberg and 20-year-old Tanner Thomas, who are from the Dallas, Texas area, spent a full year creating an intricate plot to take over the Genova Island in Haiti. Their fantasy was to kill all of the men and keep the women and children as their sex slaves. Federal prosecutors say they chose this island because they believed it was remote, less protected, and that they could easily overpower the people living there. The two men were federally indicted because these weren't just fantasies. The two men actually made strategic preparations to see their plan through. The plot began in August of 2024 when they met to discuss taking over the island and forcing the women into sexual acts and forcing the children into slave labor. They planned to create an environment where no one had any rights and everyone was obedient to their wishes. To carry out their plan, they tried learning Haitian Creole, researched rifles and gear, and set out to build a team of soldiers out of homeless people in Washington, D.C. Gavin joined the Fire Academy in Dallas so he can learn leadership, and then he went to Thailand to learn how to sail a boat so that he can attack the island by water. But he never actually enrolled in the sailing classes because they were too expensive. Tanner enlisted in the Air Force so that he can have military training, and then he had them station him in the Maryland area so that he could be closer to the homeless people in Washington, D.C., so that he could recruit them to carry out their mission. All of these activities were somehow flagged by the FBI, who began to follow their moves. In July of 2025, both of these men were arrested and charged with conspiracy to kidnap in a foreign country and with producing child abuse material, which they found during their investigation. The men face up to 30 years in prison if convicted for the child abuse charges, and up to life in prison if they are convicted for the conspiracy charges. But their lawyers are saying they're not worried since both men are going to plead not guilty because they say prosecutors are going to have a hard time proving that they actually intended to carry out this plan. What do you think is going to happen to these young men? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Te-Erika with the T. Follow for more.